Hello, and welcome to the latest Lukozer retro game review video. And
US Gold present from Sega.
Now, I didn't overdub any of that. That is, believe it or not, what you get while the game is loading. That's not at all irritating, is it? So this is Outrun, the Amiga version of the arcade game. As you look at this screenshot here, you'd think, hey, this looks like it could be a pretty good conversion. This is taken straight from the arcade original. Now the music you're hearing is the Amiga's rendition of, I think it's Magical Sound Shower. And although you can change the music when you're playing the game, as far as I can tell, changing the music doesn't actually work, and it keeps playing this particular tune whether you want to hear it or not. Now this game takes a ridiculously long time to load. I did not have this back in the day. The reason I'm doing this video is because after doing my review of Commodore 64 Dick Tracy, I nominated John Gage, who is the man who inspired me to start doing these videos, or him along with Ganders. I nominated him to do his own review of Dick Tracy, and he returned the favour by nominating me to do this. I'll say, I didn't have the Amiga version. This isn't me playing, by the way, this is the demo. I didn't have this for the Amiga back in the day. I had the Commodore 64 version. I have to say, I thought the Commodore 64 version was fucking awful. Largely because the big feature of Outrun, which is to be able to choose your path through the game, you didn't get that in the Commodore 64. You had to plan your route in advance, load the particular route on the tape, and then stick to that route every time you played it. Now, because I've let the demo go through, oh thank fuck for that, I thought we were going to get that fucking unbearable Outrun intro again. Right. Now, this game has a rather annoying method of selecting the options. So, okay, we can have Passing Breeze, Splash Wave, or Magical Sound Shower as the music, but change it to. Oh, okay, so now the it does work. Right. Okay, so this is Magical Sound Shower. We'll have that one. I want joystick. And let's start the game. Here we go. Now the first thing that you notice is that the car doesn't look very much like the car in the arcade original, to put it mildly. They have rather stuck to the Sega version of rendering graphics, which is a style you either love or hate. Although that said, it works in some games, doesn't work in others. And I don't think it works in Outrun. I never did think it worked in Outrun. everything seems to be done in the sort of layers, so occasionally you know, things come along and they're just in like rows and you can't really tell what you know, what's coming and what isn't. That, believe it or not, was the split in the road that I just went past. Instead of being like, you know, a large split like it is in the arcade original, it is a row of bushes. As you can see, you have to wait for the thing to load when you choose your route. So you've got to sit here and wait. Now it starts up again, so you can't, you know, bugger off or anything. You've got to sit there, wait for the disk to finish accessing, and then the game just starts and launches immediately. Now the Amiga version, that was one almighty fuck up. The Amiga version is extremely generous with the amount of time it gives you, and although I've only played this twice, a couple of like warm-up goes, I completed the run both times, so we'll see if we can complete the run again this time. And you can see quite clearly that I am driving like shit, and you know, I'm in the process of writing off several Ferrari Testarossas, which is fine by me because I think that's all that the Ferrari Testarossa is good for. So again, we get the extended play, and because we've got so much time, it's sending the timer absolutely fucking haywire. Now this level is a bit bland, but it does go extremely quickly because there isn't very much being rendered on screen. There's hardly any roadside objects in this one, which isn't really showing the Amiga off in a particularly good light. The game's running much faster because there isn't as much being rendered on screen. That's not something you would have expected to happen on an Amiga version of any game. You can also see there's a huge amount of screen glitches going on this level. It's almost sending the game bloody haywire. So we're off the road and just going fucking nowhere fast. So we got through there, and now I've got so much time that the timer is now completely bollocksed up. Here we are, we're already on to stage 4, so I mean you see I've been driving this like a fucking muppet, but I'm already on the penultimate stage. So what do I think of it? Graphics wise, they've rather exaggerated the whole Sega, you know, over the top, everything done in layers bit. I don't know if I'm making myself very clear with that description, but it makes sense to me. They are a bit blocky, but that I think has more to do with the resolution that I'm playing this game at, because I've got it up full screen on a, you know, 2560 by 1440 monitor. This game is certainly not running at that resolution. So graphically, I think graphically it's a bit of a mess. I mean, the road routine is fast. It does, you know, twist left and right. It doesn't just, you know, the road doesn't just get drawn with those curves. It does actually turn to the left and the right. It does also have gradients. You are going up and down hills. But if anything, it's a bit too fast. Everything comes along so quickly. It's hard to tell, you know, what's fucking what. Sound-wise, the sound of the car is pretty awful, to be honest. The music is reasonable, but it's nothing, you know, fantastic. And this is the last level I'm on, so it looks like, well, yeah, I've finished the race with 78 seconds left, so that's the best I've done yet. Which means I'm going to get an enormously huge score as we now get the end game animation. You pick up the cup and then your car falls apart. And then you just get this grey game over screen. So here it is mapping my route, which was to quite simply take the left hand path every time. And I finished with a score of 87,053,301. But this is where it's impressive. You can actually type in your name. Isn't that superb? It fucking happens rarely enough. So, yeah, graphically I think it's a bit messy. It doesn't look anything like this. I wish it did. Sound-wise, the car engine sound is a bit shit. The when you hit anything, it sounds a bit pathetic. So the music is reasonable without being anything spectacular. I would have thought the Amiga could have done a better job of the music than it has. Gameplay-wise, it's just far too fucking easy. It's no challenge at all. So I am by no means a good Outrun player. I was fucking hopeless at the arcade original. And yet I've played the Amiga version just 3 times and I've completed it 3 times. So it's ridiculously easy. It is no challenge whatsoever. So I'll give it 4. It's a reasonable stab, but it could have been so much better. But it could have been worse. I mean, it could have been a Commodore 64 version, which was absolutely fucking awful. So there you go. That's Outrun 4 out of 10. Pretty forgettable stuff. But if you must play a conversion of it rather than download the main ROM, then this is probably the best one to get. I mean, of course, this came out in 1989, so it's quite an early Amiga game, and like most Amiga games at the time, this is just a port of the Atari ST version anyway, so yeah, it's not really a dedicated Amiga version at all. Right, well there you go. So Outrun 4 out of 10. Not a whole hell of a lot going for it, but it could have been worse. So that brings this video to an end, and we shall see you at the next one.